Good morning, Morgan. How are you?
Shadone, I'm just laughing at how many coffee cups and cups I have in front of me right now. I couldn't even help myself. I'm like, I have my water, my coffee, my tea, my bubbly like water thingy going on. I'm like, I feels like I haven't had anything to drink for 5 years. I'm like, why do I really need that much? What is my body telling me I need? You know?
Yeah, well, it's probably telling you need a reset.
Mm,
Listen, y'all, I'm so excited to talk about this today with Morgan. Obviously, spring has sprung, and I hope that wherever you live, it's really sprung because here in Maryland, it was late. So I said, we're going to do the magazine. Once it's actually warm on a consistent basis, that's when we're going to drop.
love it. It's been crazy over here too. Like it was 90 degrees for like a week straight. Then it dropped down to 32 degrees. My body said, "I'm sorry, what is going on?" Just like
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, I know. Well, listen, if this is your first time and you're like, what are you talking about? What magazine? What's going on? Today, we're going to talk a little bit about the Getting to After magazine. And so, our podcast is going to be a little bit different. We want to take you through some of these themes, what we're talking about, and who we are as content creators and what we do here at Getting to After because it's pretty special, it's pretty dynamic. We're very proud of it, and we know that you will be too. Let me just introduce myself. I'm Chateau Morris. I'm the Princess of Positivity. I am the host of the Getting to After podcast, and this is my co-host. Let her let you know who she is because she's the real deal. So I don't want you to forget about her.
Hey everybody, I'm Morgan Bustos. I am an EFT practitioner. I do a lot of public speaking, and I also get to help women who are navigating through the back end and also right in the middle of domestic violence. Chaton and I get to work with a lot of women within the shelters and then also ones that we just meet in the community. So we're very happy to be able to support them and give them the much needed guidance and love. So this is what's something that we do together.
One of the
That's what
key reasons why we decided to create a magazine, I should say I decided because I was like, Morgan, guess what? I think we should do this. And she's like, okay. Um, is because I mean, obviously I'm a writer, I'm an author and lots of other things. Words are my like first love.
Mm.
Hint, that's in the magazine for spring. But every season, this is actually our second spring issue. We did spring issue last year. That's our second spring issue, I
That's
know.
crazy.
And so the thing is that our goal with this magazine is to support midlife women through transition changes, giving them extra joy, extra rest, giving them room in simple ways, in accessible ways, in ways that they don't feel pressured in order to not just live their best life. Because don't you love that one? Live your best life. I put it in quotes. But to feel better, especially
Mm.
inside in their nervous system, somatically, and things you can do to simplify stress and make it easier for you to kind of move through your day. That's what getting to after is all about. This particular endeavor is twofold. So it helps our readers, but then it also helps the women, as Ms. Morgan was mentioning, who have been survivors of domestic violence, because half of the proceeds of the magazine, half helps us to do all of our initiatives, and the other half is
Mm.
given directly to the shelter. So what we're doing right now is we're in the spring, we're in the throes of spring. And we're going to talk a little bit about what is in the magazine. We want to entice you to get it. You can get one for 10. You can get all of 2026 for $20. That's insane. And so, because of that, we thought we were going to come up with themes all year long that kind of tied together because I'm that girl. I like things to be nice and organized. So,
Mm.
winter, we were talking about retreat. And this particular season for spring, we're talking about reset. I will not tell you what summer is already, but I'm already working on the summer magazine. It's interesting. One of the reasons why we decided to choose reset is because people think about starting over. They start thinking new. What are the new thoughts for this season? Spring as rebirth and all of that. But one of the things is that there's a subliminal message, and I know you've seen it too, that's like everything has to be done over.
Mm.
And it has to be done over now. And the message underneath that is everything you've done in the past is a fail.
Yeah.
And so you got to start all over again. And oh, by the way, you got to get it done before summer. And it's as if everything's crumbling, everything is a fail, everything has to be new. And we're just, we talk about after and the journey, but we just don't believe in that. That's just not where we're coming from. So this
Mhm.
idea of reset often doesn't feel very good. And Morgan's going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. So our goal is not to rush you to have to do something. There's no big finish line you got to finish, because by the time you get to midlife, first of all, congratulations for being here.
You
Hello,
won the prize
you
already.
made it. Okay, you already a winner. All right, a whole winner, winner, chicken dinner, because you made it to this age through all the stuff we go
Mhm.
through. So we're not trying to give you more tasks. We're here to give you some ideas, kind of like crack the door open a little bit as
Mm.
to additional ways of getting peace, of regulating your nervous system. We talk a lot about that, especially in the emotional freedom technique. We just really want you to get to a place that's lighter. We're not talking about your body, we're talking about your spirit. So we kind of come through the idea of reset with a different lens. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through some of the themes that are in the magazine to kind of entice you, like, ooh, I want to read some of that.
Yeah.
Before we get started, I will tell you that we don't write about things or talk about things that we don't know. If there's something that is ever discussed in the magazine that we don't know, it's with major research.
Mm.
So I'm
Yeah.
not a nutritionist. I'm not a professional cook. I'm not a professional organizer. I'm not a motherhood coach, although I used to coach motherhood. But there's a lot of things that we talk about that we go talk to other professionals
Mhm.
or we do our research.
Yeah.
And Morgan and I are natural students.
Yeah.
So we're reading all the time. So you'll see some of that in here. And so Morgan, why don't you talk a little bit about how you feel about this idea of reset, and then maybe we can share the things that we're resetting this season.
Okay, so I don't know how you all think about reset, but usually, like, what I'm seeing is that it's presented like really, really loud. People are in your face. It's loud, it's fast, it's hard. It's some kind of like really intense kind of
Yeah,
challenge to do it fast, right? Me at you got to do this like 90 days, hard, fast challenge, that
yeah,
kind of thing. And it's so intense that it makes you feel like if you don't do it, it's like you better do this or else,
yeah,
like you're not going to
yeah,
succeed at anything. And I mean, it's if you really do think about it, a lot of women in midlife, it makes it you not feel supported. I know it didn't for
exactly.
me. You know,
Yeah,
is
it
that
does.
crazy? Do you
Yeah,
understand the
it's like you're being hunted. You know, all of your flaws, all of your little vulnerabilities. We didn't want to beat you up in winter.
Mhm.
After the first couple weeks of the New Year's resolutions, but now we're going to hunt you down because there's things to fix. You got to get back on track, and it's the
Yes.
same thing every year. And some people look, Morgan. Some people are inspired by it. Some people are. I'm not going to say that, but the kind of reset that we're talking about is not driven by the headlines or viral moments that you're going to see on social or when you're standing in line at the whatever your supermarket is. What do you go, Kroger down there?
Food Lion.
Oh, I don't like Food Line. We have Food Line.
Did you see her
Let me
face?
not
That
diss
was
Food Line.
veggie.
I don't like them. Anyway, we have Giant here. Uh,
Mm,
Most of the time, I live at Aldi. I digress. you know, we wanted to take a more thoughtful approach, something that leaves room for more joy. You'll hear us talk about that. So, we want to talk about some of the thematic elements that we have inside of getting to after. One of the things I think is unique, and I have to just shout out my own self, is that I haven't been editor in chief of a magazine since I was in high school. And
I had no idea.
oh, yeah,
As
and my
much
magazine did win. Like at Columbia University, we won like third place of yeah, like it was a big deal to me. So I've been editing stuff, like being the editor in chief of that magazine and also the yearbook and all that kind of stuff. Like that was a big deal to me. So when I thought about how can we create a little bit more capital to fund our initiatives, the first thing I thought of was what am I great at?
mm,
I'm not trying to be, oh, look how good I am. But what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about words. I'm
mm,
passionate about people feeling awesome. Like I'm passionate about people being able to like literally scroll something that doesn't make them feel flawed or worse or like they've made a mistake or
yeah.
I want them to scroll something they go, oh man, like that to me, that brings me so much peace. So please, y'all get the magazine. Let me put the link up so you can see it. Here's the link. Um, bit.ly/G2A-Spring26. And that's my goal. My goal is that, that you feel that way. And Morgan is such a willing participant in all the crazy that I bring to her. But this is something that we're able to have people purchase. But then for the women who are really in crisis and conflict, it's made available to them at no cost. And that's something that's really important to us. It's not a no cost endeavor to create, but it's definitely a no cost endeavor for them. So I want to make sure that people know that as well.
And the really nice thing about the magazines too is there's always a special segment that's devoted and dedicated directly to women that have been through domestic violence.
Yeah.
So it's a full circle for everybody to be able to enjoy.
Yeah, I like that too. So why don't we just go ahead and do a little bit of an overview to kind of whet everyone's appetite as to what you're going to get when you get the magazine, because it is kind of, I view it as a nice, like, would you say, Morgan, like a little nice afternoon or a couple of afternoons that you can kind of sit with, and you're not going to get ads popping up. You're not, there's no ads in our magazine. We don't have people selling you stuff. It's not like that. We're not even selling you stuff in the magazine. It really is a moment and a labor of love. Morgan, one of the key themes for this season is on motherhood. And I know that you and I both, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It's very different, but we're still moms. And as I was writing one of these articles, and there's also a fictional piece about this in the magazine as well, because we like to put a little fiction in for you, that there's a lot of reset happening when you're a midlife mom. And it's like a shift. You're still a mom. Things are different. You got these kids are growing up. You got to let them go a little bit. People talk about empty nesting and all that, but it's bigger than that. It's more than just that your nest is empty. It may not be all the way empty, but there's shifts happening. And I've been kind of sitting with this idea that how do you reset into a different kind of mom? Like, how do you make that happen again while all these other things are happening too? And emotionally, you have this connection, and now all of a sudden they're growing, or in my case, like married, and
Yeah.
like, so it's like not just the stuff happening around us, it's the stuff happening inside of our homes and happening within us as well. I think it's a really nice way to start thinking about, how do I navigate this peacefully, joyfully, and with as least angst as possible. I didn't say angst less. I said least amount of angst.
And especially because every single one of us, at midlife, or at least a good majority of us, we have children. And
Yeah.
so they're growing, we're growing simultaneously, trying to figure out like where does everything just fit in? You
Yeah.
know?
So you need to get the magazine if you've been struggling with that at all. One of the things is you're not alone. And we're always going to talk about topics that the stuff you don't talk about. There's a lot of things we don't talk about, right?
Mm,
We talk about the things you don't talk about.
mm,
We talk about the things that are really of the body, the things that are making your heart go like this, in the
right.
middle of the night. That's what we're talking about. So, Morgan, one of the things that does that for sure, and I know this is one of your favorite segments.
Can you see my son started? Yes. If anybody knows me, they know I am like crazy passionate about food. So this segment is on a food reset. I always love this segment because it's a spin on like the regular food that we eat, but we make it so super easy peasy lemon squeezy for everybody to be able to do because it's very intentional. Food is one of those areas where we reset and we can feel sometimes like the most rigid. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but it does sometimes. I remember, do you remember like what was it back in the 2000s when P90X came out? Like P90X. And there was this whole eating plan and all this craziness that came along with it. I didn't think it was going to be any way I could keep up with that. And that's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to be realistic. We're all
That's
moms.
why I said 90-day hard. Goodbye.
Yes, yes. And like we all have lives, we all have things we're trying to do and take care of. And so by making sure that it's reasonable, that's why these recipes are so awesome. They're super, super simple, delicious. And honestly, I can't even wait to try them all. Can I just share like maybe one of the ones?
Why are you trying to give away the goods?
Because it's so tasty. There is this pineapple thing in there. Unbelievable. unbelievable. Like, I don't know where she gets these recipes from sometimes, but I'm in awe all the time. I digress. Okay, really, really good stuff in there. We kept coming back to the idea of that this needs to feel nourishing. It needs to be affordable where we are in the economy right now. We need to feel like it actually supports us. It actually supports not only us physically, but our daily schedules, the ways that we're working, at home, our whole routine, right?
Yeah.
Just making sure that it's not a list of rules that you have to follow perfectly. It's just little small choices you get to make here and there to make your life easier.
These are all things that I have done in my house, that I've tried, and some I've gotten from other people. But this particular season is all like from the top of my head. Now Morgan is going to be spearheading summer. Did you know that, Morgan? I'm telling you now. Um,
At least you gave me a heads up this time.
She's going to be spearheading the recipes for summer. We do like to feature someone every magazine, and we're featuring. I want to get too deep into this one, Morgan, because it's like I need y'all to read this and get this information. We do have a podcast about this as well, but we're going to be highlighting our professional organizer that we interviewed last year. Why? Because in spring, everyone's thinking, it's time to reorganize and spring
Mhm.
clean and all that kind of good stuff. So why don't you give them a little high level highlights on our home reset?
Oh my goodness, it was absolutely amazing. The Janelle
Mhm.
Williams is the lady that we had come in. She is absolutely brilliant. I think one of the things I really appreciated about her is she was just so down to earth. When people think about resetting their home, a lot of times it can feel overwhelming. She made it really approachable,
Yeah,
and to make sure that we start with like little bite-sized pieces, like
yeah.
tiny, tiny little things, and allowing
Mhm.
yourself to make decisions in small ways. You could start with even a drawer, a
Mhm.
corner of the room. I'll never forget her saying that, just a corner. It doesn't even have to be the whole thing, just a corner
No,
of
that's right.
because you're seeing it, so that
Yeah.
declutters that piece in your mind. When she said, "Just declutter your pocketbook," she goes, "It doesn't even have to be the whole thing. Open up your wallet and just organize your cards, organize your cash." That was such a huge gem. It was
Yeah.
absolutely great to be able to have that and know that you don't have to feel so bombarded with everything. Just do small little steps.
Little small things.
And you guys have got to go and read this. It's absolutely amazing.
It is something that causes a lot of shame.
Hmm.
So again, when I talk about how one of the things about this journey that we're all on, we're trying to get at things that quietly cause us shame. You may be able to talk about feeling shame about your finances or about your relationship status. You may even be able to talk about how, you feel a little shame because your kids aren't doing what you want them to have achieved up to this point. But when you talk about your house is a cluttered mess, or you're a hoarder, a little bit of a hoarder, or you just can't keep it clean, no one, that's shameful. No one talks about that. So we're not negating anyone, but we want to give you some resources about how you can get started. And that's why I love this particular piece. Even though this particular magazine is about resetting, we always have emotional components because we always do emotional freedom technique, and it's always taught in the magazine. All the points are shown. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably haven't watched this very often. Emotional freedom technique is our jam, and it's really a way of um, resetting your nervous system in a moment. And so this particular magazine, I decided to do a deep dive and really give away like all the goods on our favorite tapping points, on what we do in terms of what emotional freedom technique looks like, and why we do it, and the honest story about how Morgan and I both thought it was a hoax. We thought it was a myth. We thought it was fake. We thought it didn't work. And then we had a huge aha. We're going to reveal all of that inside the magazine because we want to make sure that you can have the same aha as well. And it's not just from watching us here. We want to take you through like we didn't believe it either. It's a lot what they're going through at this age. And it's all of us. It's all of you. And
Mhm.
so we need consistent support. And unfortunately, again, if you say the word midlife or your 40s in front of your phone, okay, like within 2 seconds, you're going to get 10 sponsored, reels or whatever, but they typically are selling you something difficult, are letting you know how you're not enough, but they're couching it now with, we're not telling you you're not enough, but am I being gaslit? Like what? So there's no gaslighting in our magazine. We are not going to bait and switch you. In fact, one of my favorite segments is um, what we used to call the bucket list. Um, but now it's just kind of like our little seasonal joy reset. Morgan, why don't you chat about that a little bit? And don't give it all away, but like talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite parts of it too, because it gives you the idea of things you can do that
Yep.
don't cost a lot of money. You get to just enjoy being outside. Okay, for example, I don't know if y'all know about Durham. That's where I just moved. Durham has the most amazing places to eat. And I mean, it's really, really diverse. It's a college place, it's a college town. So
Right.
there's tons of traffic throughout everything. It's not just the restaurants. They also have these awesome food trucks all over the place. So it could be
Oh,
like just going and like looking up, like go on Instagram and be like, oh, where's a new one popping up and trying something like that. It doesn't have to be every week because sometimes that can sound more like work trying to like plan and plan and plan
yep.
different things. So just make it fun, have a good time, do something local, get outside, get some fresh air, go to a farmer's market, get some good food to use in these
Yeah.
recipes,
Yeah.
go to a music festival, just have a great time.
Yeah. And that to me, Morgan, is about one of the reasons why if we're not encouraged to do this,
Mhm.
again, we scroll, people are going to tell us what we should do. We're not necessarily attached to all of those ideas because they're not ours. And so
Mm,
we just give you like a list of things that we love,
mm,
and maybe they're the things that you love, but we want you to go into your local areas or
mm,
your dream list or the things you've been wanting to do for a long time and check a few of those off. Look, the season has only been so long, right? It's already kind of like mid-spring. We want you to go do something. It's that kind of idea of spring forward. We want you to spring forward. Doesn't mean you have to do a whole lot of stuff, okay? Because we are not trying to have you do more. But we do think it's awesome to experience more. It's interesting. My daughter is, she's early 20s, nowhere near midlife. But she's like, Mom, I'm going to spend time outside. I want to spend time outside. And newly married a year. And shout out, she's got a great YouTube channel. Just going to say that. I will put it in the description box below in case you have a daughter and they need to be incited. But my daughter, she's an incredible content creator. I had to do that. I'm a mom. Um, but what's interesting, a couple of weeks ago, she decided that she wanted to create a planter. So outside of her small apartment, her little tiny like patio area, it's very tiny. She got the table and the chairs, and she built a planter. She got it Aldi, not expensive. She figured out how to put it together herself on her day off. And when her husband got home from work, he helped her plant, and they're doing an herb garden. And I mean, it's micro, but
oh,
it's a raised bed and they're creating and they put things in because we've got all kind of deer here and craziness.
yeah,
So they put the little flowers in that will deter the animals. The amount of joy that these two kids had doing this
yeah.
now has created to their little community that they're in. Their neighbor, next thing they know, they go outside with their little daughter. His daughter's like 4 years old, and they start planting outside of their little apartment. This
Oh,
is the kind of stuff that changes the environment. It really is spring forward energy. It will change. Listen, it's in the magazine. I'm just saying,
mhm.
it's in the magazine. It's in the magazine.
Well, and that's the thing. It just takes one person to start something, like you said, and it's a chain reaction. I would be interested and fascinated to find out like how many people at the end of the summer like to drive around their community and see how many people are doing the same thing.
I'm sure because I've not seen it up to this point, and now you've got people planting. You
Yeah.
don't have to have this huge, and we talk about that. That's one of the things that's really, I'm not going to give it away. You don't have to have this huge space to do it, but you can do it. And the bottom line is, we are made from the earth. And so
Mm,
when see things in the nature, it's in the magazine. When you see things in nature, you are immediately attracted to it. You can't help it.
mhm,
Very few people aren't. We're made that way. There's one other segment, Morgan, I want to talk about a little bit. And so in the magazine, both Morgan and I have a room. Okay.
mm,
And this is something that was born last summer in the summer edition that we decided to start having rooms. And each of us put our own personal things in those rooms. And this time I decided to explain, write about, and explore how much words mean to me, you know? And so not only do I share that, which is a personal thing, but also how I really believe that words should be that important to everybody. I do. I do. So we're talking a lot about journaling. Now, I know that if you've watched us in the past, you've seen us talk about our journals. This is the Getting to After journal. And this is, let me be honest, this is something that we saw on our website. Okay. It's not sold in the magazine. That's not the point. I want people to get back to journaling.
Yeah.
Because right now in 2026, writing something down, getting something out of you, you will notice shifting in your body. You will notice shifting in that mind body connection when you write and get stuff out of you.
I also had a client that brought that out to me the other day about how she had previously been doing like her journaling on her phone when she'd be, in the passenger seat or waiting somewhere at a doctor's office. And she was like, Mo, I had no idea using the notebook would be that
Yeah.
different. There is something therapeutic about like hearing your
Yeah.
pen on the paper and just having the pen in your hands and the feel of the book in your hand. She was like, I should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah, it changes things. So we'll talk about it. You can grab it. So I hope that you're like, oh, like there's a little something that I want to try. And we didn't even tell you everything. There's like other really good stuff, right? Um, this is a labor of love. It does help
Mhm.
us with, we have this thing called an empowerment essential kit, which also is described in the magazine, where you can donate to help us create these kits for women who are in shelters or who are moving out of domestic violence. Morgan's story, a little piece of her story is in the magazine in terms of how the need for this arose because of how when she went into a shelter, she realized, man, this is not something that women have because they sometimes leave with nothing. And so we can't cure everything. We can't, solve everything. We can do a small piece. And this is our piece for women and their children, getting
Yes.
these little kits to them. And we are very clear that we know who the answer is going to come from. We know that domestic violence is not going to be there forever. We know that it's going to be taken care of. God has promised us that. However, the little piece that we can do right now is what we're doing. And you
Mm.
can help us by grabbing a magazine. The link is still there, bit.ly/U2A-spring 26. And again, for $10 for one, $20 for four, as soon as you get the spring one, if you get the subscription, you'll immediately get the spring one, and then you'll be sent the winter one as well, so that you can end up having all of 2026 all together.
Mhm.
It's very powerful. So listen, when we talk about reset, we're not talking about you having to change everything all at once. We're not going to give you PX90. We're not going to give you 90 days hard. We're not going to tell you you can't eat sugar, bread, carbs. We're not going
Oh.
to tell you divorce your husband, leave your kids. That's
Mhm.
not it. That's not it.
Nope.
What we're going to this magazine is about giving you an afternoon of peace. It's
Mm.
about you knowing that you're helping another woman get something that would really make a difference for her, that to let her know that she's not forgotten about. That's what this is all about. Morgan, go ahead and tell me, do you have anything right now that you're resetting for this season?
Oh, absolutely. So my ability to organize better, and I mean my time. Organizing my time management has never been that great. And then over the years, it's slowly progressing and slowly progressing. And I am really excited to be able to work with that along
Nice.
with, there's, I think that's my biggest one. My biggest
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
How about
I
you?
mean, the thing is that it doesn't, no one has to understand that.
Hmm.
I just asked you because I was being nosy.
Hmm.
Um, Mine is, I mean, it's many things. I know you know that I've been on a reset journey since November, and I talked to you guys about that. I'm writing my book about the results. I've had some drawbacks in the past like 6 weeks because I've really been having energy issues, and I haven't felt very well for the last several weeks. I would say since mid-March, I have not felt 100%. And even though I make it look good, I haven't felt that well. So one of the key things that I'm resetting is really looking to reset the mind body connection, working
Mhm.
with a naturopath, working with an EFT specialist, and also re-implementing. It sounds like a lot of this sounds like 9 Day Hard, and also re-implementing intermittent fasting because I did that for years and it was really, really good for my body. And I got away from it because I asked so much of my body that sometimes I'm just like passing out because I just need to eat and I need to plan in advance. So I've decided just very recently to re implement, you know, 18 hours of fasting per day, between 16 and 18 hours. And just starting it just recently, in the past week or so, um, or making the decision and then implementing, I've noticed a huge change in my relationship to pain in my body. And it's interesting. I just really have a body that doesn't do well with too much food in it. And it has nothing to do with dieting. It has to do with my body doesn't like to have a lot of food in it. But culturally, it's like weird and, so many questions. And I just had to be like, you know what? Don't really care if you understand what I'm doing. I'm resetting and taking back my power to say, this is something that I need and I have to make it work for me.
Mm,
So it's three big things that I'm working on, but they're personal. And
mhm,
it's not a I just always say 9 Day Hard because one of my spiritual kids used to say that, but it's like it's not that. It's internal, and it's a recognition and acknowledgement of what is necessary for my peace of mind and for me to move forward in joy because what good is life's supposed to be fun. Like what good is it if you have absolutely no joy? Like that's crazy. And
mm.
so I know that it's work. When you're trying to reorganize your time with all that you have on your plate, not easy. Sounds really quick, little sentence you just said, but I know what that actually means.
Well, and that's the hard part. I know I have X amount of time, but I'm always like, "Oh, I still have 15 minutes. I can throw this in, this, and this." And you just need to step back for a second, be more modest. I think that's more so what it is being more modest with my what I can fit in there and my own expectations of myself.
Yeah, yep, yep. So listen, so you let us know what you're working on. What is your reset? Get the magazine and let us know in the comments what are you working on. Make sure that if this resonated with you, that you go ahead and share it with someone else as well. Another woman friend have, help us grow our subscribers here as well on YouTube. This podcast is also available on Apple Pod and also on Spotify as well, if you'd rather just listen instead. And of course, let me just put up our website so you have it. You can also get us on our website at gettingtoafter.com, and you can have access to some of the other resources that we have other than just our magazine. So there's lots of ways to contact us. Before we close, Morgan, I have written a little love note because I haven't done one in a while. And the reason why we do a love note is because we really believe that women sometimes get forgotten. Maybe no one's noticed you lately, and we want you to know that we are noticing you. There's a way that you probably have been holding yourself lately. Maybe it's like a little bit too tight. Maybe there's more pressure than you've realized, and we want to help you let it go. You're worthy of having it be let go. I wonder sometimes what feels like it needs your true attention. Not everything, just one area. If you notice, how have you been eating? Are you pleased with that? Do you feel nourished? Is it the space around you when you walk into the spaces in your house and you're feeling like, yeah, this is how I want it? Or maybe it's the thoughts that you've been thinking. Are they nourishing to you? Are they carrying you? The way that you're moving through your days, is it with purpose? Is it with intention? Because if it's not, I want to give you permission to forgive yourself right now. So many times we recognize that things that aren't working the way we want them to, and instead of giving ourselves grace, we immediately go into, I should be gritty, I should be doing more. That's not what this season is about. The reset for you right now has a lot to do with seeing yourself where you are right now. And if you're becoming someone new, even in the small incremental amounts, it's worth it. You're worthy, and congratulate yourself and remember to do that with joy. If you start a reset and you're thinking right away, I'm not going to be able to complete it, guess what? You're right. So instead of going into it with that mindset, think, I'm going to do one thing differently. And that one thing is going to nourish me and bring me to the next season as a better version of myself. It could be one small shift, one small choice, or just a moment of honesty and self-reflection. It could be a day where you journal. It could be a day when you go for a walk. When you see yourself, sweetheart, as someone important enough to take that time, so many things will unravel for you. So many things will untangle, and so many things will show up differently. We know it, and you probably know it too, even if you haven't practiced it recently. So remember that you're allowed to meet yourself right where you are. You don't have to be shameful about the place where you are. You don't have to look at other people and compare yourself to the right and to the left and say, I'm not where they are. What about where you are? It's good enough. And you can start from exactly where you are. We love you. We want you to feel the love. What we do counts, and what you do counts. Let's do it together. So Morgan, thank you for doing this little premiere with me. If you guys are listening to us, just, do we have to say, get the magazine? I'm going to be posting the link down below. You'll have the link is here. It's also be in the description box below as well. And you can always go out to our website and see the other resources that we have available. So we have some free resources as well. You can get our journal there too. And then also I have a book that we'll be highlighting a little bit of the book this summer. There's lots of resources. The whole goal is that Morgan and I both believe that there's no shelf life on your healing. I mean, how tired to think that there is. All of a sudden, it's too late for me. No, it's not. Don't believe the hype. Okay, it's not true. So, thank you for hanging out with us. We're actually not going to tap with you because once you get the magazine, you're going to get so many amazing things in there. You're not even going. Go ahead, Morgan. I know you want to talk to them.
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. It is absolutely amazing, you guys. I'm not joking. Like, there is a whole new twist to this and vibe and feeling. When I was reading over it, I had to read it like 3 times back to back because I was gleaning different. It just, the whole feeling of it is so poetic.
Listen,
beautiful.
Can't tell them everything, Morgan.
It's so good.
We out. Just get it, okay? It's $10 for the cause, for the woman, for the cause, and for yourself as well. We will see you next time. Thank you for being with us and getting to after. We love you. Bye.
Bye.